Hey everybody, my name is Jesse Grossbullen and welcome to the JesseAF show. Today is Friday, March 22nd, 2019, episode 40 of my daily podcast. Yeah, that's right, daily. That means every single day I'll be posting a new episode. So please check in tomorrow for my next episode. I'm on Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube. So if you have any of those platforms, please consider subscribing. That way you get notifications for whenever I post a new episode. Today I'm going to be talking about my Twitter community and basically different things I've been doing on Twitter. And Twitter is one of those platforms that we don't really know much about it, in the sense, well, I don't know much about it when it comes to what to do on Twitter. But Twitter is mostly a platform based on communicating to a lot of people and instant communication with them. And that goes for businesses, that goes for personal brands, that goes for me, personal accounts and personal brands. And so I do a lot of both sharing videos that I do on YouTube and podcast episodes on Twitter. And as many times as you post a single episode, it's going to be different every single time for me, because I post with the link directly to my Apple Podcast, my Google Play Music, my YouTube, my SoundCloud. So I have all those different platforms I can post with on Twitter. So I can basically post the same post over and over again, but for the different platforms I use. And I feel like that makes it okay to do it. I mean, sure, I'd be spamming whatever I'm doing for the day, but at the same time, I'm really just focusing on getting attention to those individual platforms that I have. And the other thing that I do, or that I've started doing on Twitter, is open communication. And open communication means, to me at least, talking to people in my community about different things that are going on. So I search up my location. Basically, I kind of do. So what I do is I go into the search field and I type in Kingston, New York, or Hudson Valley. And I basically look at all the tweets that mention Kingston, New York, or Hudson Valley. And I go through all of them and I look at what they're posting and if it's interesting enough for me to talk about it, or to say something about it, or something, or like it, or something like that. And I've actually been doing it just yesterday. I started doing this, and it's actually really turned out to be a good thing. And so basically, let me give you an example. So I saw a post that someone made about Rough Draft Bar and Books, which is in Uptown Kingston. And it was like, oh, this is a great place. So I was like, oh yeah, I've been there. It's a really awesome place. It's really unique. You get a really great experience there. And then the person that I commented on their tweet, they were like, I didn't even know anyone in the Hudson Valley was on Twitter. I was like, yeah, plenty of people are on Twitter from Hudson Valley. But the thing is, people in the Hudson Valley don't really do anything on Twitter. Any outreach or anything like that. I've seen a lot of nothing on Twitter with those types of those words used. So I've been messaging and DMing or mentioning and all that stuff on Twitter. I still have to get used to the different words that are used with Twitter, like retweeting or commenting. I don't know. I don't know if it's a comment. It kind of is. But at the same time, it's a post with their tag in it. So it's really interesting for me. I've never really worked with Twitter as much as I am now, but I think Twitter is a really important space for me to get involved in so that I can get more community reach, more people in my community. So it was kind of funny. I mentioned after that yeah, I'm on Twitter trying to bring some attention to my podcast that I'm doing. And the person that the comment that he made initially to, they tweeted to me and they were like, hey, we have a podcast too. So I was like, oh, that's really awesome. So I met another person that did podcasting, and they also had a Twitter page for their podcast, which I thought was cool. But for me, I'm a personal brand. It's just about me. It's basically a diary almost about me. So I figured it would be no sense to just make another account for my Twitter, and I would just have my personal Twitter account linked up to my daily podcast. So I really got into a good conversation with them, and I enjoyed talking to them about what I did and what they did, and it was really fun. And we did a lot of likes and a lot of exchanging of just messages, and I even subscribed to them. I even followed them, which was really cool because I got to know that more people in the Hudson Valley do podcasting or whatever it is, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm really gonna take Twitter by the horns and really try and wrestle with it so that I can get better at it, and that way I can get more outreach. Yesterday, I actually, when I was going back onto my SoundCloud to post something else onto Twitter, I noticed that I had 166 views on a single episode. I was like, okay, something doesn't seem right here. So I looked at it, and I noticed that was some page retweeted my episode, and they're basically looking for money to do that more often for me. And I was like, nah, not interested. But I thought it was really, really crazy, and I actually honestly thought that at first that my work on Twitter actually got me all that attention, but it wasn't the case. It was just spam, basically. All these different countries watching the podcast episode. I was like, okay, whatever. But it made me feel good, and it also made me think, well, maybe if I do this more often, I will get more results like this. And maybe I'm going to actually get better results from Twitter. And I really like that idea. I really like the idea of playing with these different platforms and really trying to maximize my reach and maximize the type of work that I get out there and the type of community people that I talk to. That way I get more notoriety, I guess you could say, so that I can be more of a community figure. Who knows? I would love to be a community figure. I mean, that would be awesome, but that's not the point of this podcast. The point of this podcast is to be me and talk about me and my journeys through entrepreneurship and where I'm going with my life. Even though I haven't done much with my life with entrepreneurship, I do plan on doing a lot with it, and this is the zone for me to do that. And when I get questions on Twitter like, oh, what do you do with your podcast? It's just documentation from my entrepreneurial journey. And And I love that about Twitter. It really gives me that ability to talk with all these different people and have really quick conversations, really instant conversations with these random people that I don't even know. And it's kind of getting my name out there. So I'm planning on doing a lot more of that. I'm planning on talking more to people on Twitter. I'm trying to get my Twitter content up so that I can really bring value to whoever follows me on Twitter, whoever sees my content on Twitter. That way you get more information about who I am on Twitter. That way my Twitter feed could be more of another source to my podcast, along with my Instagram, because my Instagram is more of a visual representation of who I am. So I have to figure out what I need to do on Twitter to really represent who I am and to really show off who I am in that kind of sense. So I think talking with more people will give that ability to me, and I think it'll really give me more of a place to shine, just so that I can really be myself with different people and talk to different people and kind of engage more with different people in my community. And I'm going to be searching more tags from my community, trying to figure out what the best tags are that everyone's using, but I'm really trying to focus on opening up my spectrum of who I'm talking with and who I'm communicating with. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I did. And if you have any ideas on different tags that I could use for my community, I would really appreciate it. I'm really interested in trying to become a community figure. And I want to really bring awareness to my community and my city. And I really think that this podcast is a great way to do that. And as an entrepreneur, I have to work with my community. I have to work for my community. I have to work on my community. And with my entrepreneurial goals, I do want to help my community. So please, I would really appreciate hearing your feedback on what you think I should do with my Twitter, what you think I should do more with my Instagram if you're following me on there, if you're on Facebook with me, who knows. Whatever it is, I really want to get more out there. I want to be more of a community person. I want to know what's going on in my community. I want to be on the forefront of what's going on in my community. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I did. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to be getting my microphone today, so I'm going to be probably using the microphone tomorrow for tomorrow's episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.